Welcome to B.A.Showoff, the Dance Lifestyle Podcast. I'm Becky.
And I'm Alexandra. And whether you're a dance coach, dance parent, or a dancer yourself, this is the show for you. Today, we're sitting down and speaking with Ricky Ubeda.
Hey, Ricky.
Hi. It's good to be here. That was really well rehearsed and beautiful.
We've practiced a little bit.
It's really good.
And we've been dying to get you on here because people want to hear from you and, hear what you have to say.
So many requests.
I hope that I have something of note
to
say to them.
I'm sure you do. But I think we should start with you telling everybody about you and your dance growth and experience from when you were a little tiny little Ricky to where you are now.
A little Miami Heat
I mean, there's so much in there. Okay, so when I was 8, I guess we'll start at the beginning. My sister wanted to take a hip-hop dance class, and I was in that age. She's like a year and a half older than me, so I always thought everything that she did was really cool. So I was like, I want to take a hip-hop dance class too. And my mom was like, no, you don't. Like, don't be insane. And I was like, okay, well, I still want to. So we went and took a hip-hop dance class, and I, after maybe 2 or 3 weeks, they moved me up a level to the intermediate or whatever, and they left my sister.
In hip-hop?
In hip-hop, yeah.
Wow.
And I didn't do anything else for 3 or 4 years. From 8 to 12, I did only hip-hop. But they didn't move my sister up, so she quit right away. And then I stayed doing hip-hop, and then I auditioned. I had been dancing for maybe 6 months, not even 5 months. I auditioned for the Miami Heat Junior Jam, which doesn't exist anymore, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, no, I don't think it does.
Which is like the Miami Heat dancers, but for kids.
I have that vivid picture of you in my head.
Yes, me and Andrew Millett very famously were the youngins on the Miami Heat Junior Jam. But I made it. I don't even know how, to be honest, in retrospect, how that happened. But I had a lot of spirit. And I was very full out, even though it was wrong. What I was doing was wrong. I was very full out. And then I was on the Miami Heat Junior Jam for 3 years, and that was my everything. I didn't think about anything else for 3 years, and it was gave me a great foundation in rhythm. Hip hop is there's great training to be had there, and it gave me a lot of foundation about details and musicality and groove and things like that.
And you would go to the arena to.
Yeah, we perform at the games. Cute. It was so fun. We had a dressing room. It was really, really. It was quite special for someone so young to be doing something oh my God, look at thousands and thousands of people are cheering for us, at a break. Not a break. Yeah. What is it? When they take not a halftime, but
the quarter breaks or when they a timeout.
A timeout. Thank you. I was I'm not a meeting, not a team meeting, but a timeout. Yeah. And we had that was it. I was in the junior jam for a while, and then I started at a smaller studio when I was 12, taking jazz and ballet. And every other, all the other. I didn't take tap, but I took pretty much everything else. And then I trained in Miami for many, many years. And then I was off. That's I went to Coral Reef for high school, which if you don't know, they know, but which is Becky Sandelo's team. Coral Reef, go Kudas. And I was on their JV team. I was on their varsity dance team. And then my senior year of high school, I auditioned for So You Think You Can Dance, and I want to say it was I was talking to someone the other day, and I was I almost remember my junior year so much more vividly, because my senior year was I was out assisting Mia Michaels all the time, and I auditioned for So You Think in January, and I was going to the callback week or the Vegas week, whatever, in the spring, and it was so
You were assisting in Jump also during that time?
Yeah, I was assisting Mia on Jump, and so I was I was doing studio Kudas Monday through Friday, literally I would go to school half day, leave to go assist Jump, come back Sunday night at super late, and then start it was just a nonstop whirlwind of and it was very much, the energy was very much what's next, what am I need to plant the seeds to figure out what the heck I'm gonna do next year. College was on the table, but I felt I didn't really know if a program was really right for what I wanted to do, which was just kind of everything. Yeah, and
you had all the energy in the world back then.
Yes, and it was a little more divide. I think there's a little bit more of a crossover between concert and commercial dance programs. A program like USC would have been perfect for me because it has first of all, I'm a super social person, so the college piece of it was very enticing to me. But also they have commercial pieces of their program, and then a lot of concert work as well. But that program didn't open until the 2015, the following year. So, which was a bummer, but it worked out.
No, it was meant to be the way.
Yeah,
it went.
so I auditioned for different schools, and I was thinking about going to some of them, but then I ended up going on So You Think. Had an amazing time. It was it's so funny. I think now, like, I would die of stress and, like, nerves and, like, anxiety, but, like, at the time, I sailed through the entire, like, I felt like I was just, like, floating through the entire thing, because I was like, I love dance, and, like, I love all the choreographers I'm working with, and I'm so excited, and these are my friends, and I was just so, like, a little bit naive, and I was just so naive. I was like, I don't really know, like, yeah, sure, I'll learn how to do the cha-cha in a week and do it on,
you also have
Bollywood.
A lot more energy.
I do, and I was just kind of, like, unfazed by, I didn't travel a lot, I didn't have, like, tons of money, we didn't travel a lot as a family, so, like, I really didn't leave Miami much, and it's a very, like, I had a very small world. So, like, I didn't realize, like, the whole world was watching me. Like, it just didn't really sink in. I was just kind of like, yeah, I'm like, I'm up here on this stage. I've been thinking about doing this since I was 8 years old. Like, this is exactly what I want to do. It didn't really go far past that. Whereas now, I would be so in my head, and I would be so scared.
How long were you there? Like, for
it was
the whole
so
process?
long.
Because it felt like an eternity.
It was so long. It was still, like, the classic setup. So, like, we went in May. Like, I think I graduated, I went the next week, which is perfect because I got to go to graduation, which is awesome, which is important to me. And then we went to, like, the finale was September 3rd.
Yeah, it felt like an eternity.
Yeah, I remember we would have watch parties here.
Yeah, we would have watch parties
I still have those videos on my phone. It was very sweet that you guys would send those videos.
And it was like a bunch of people would just come and just hang out.
I mean,
we're watching Ricky.
It was so fun. It was a dream come true. Imagine, like, I never thought the show would last long enough for me to get on it. I mean, I started dancing because of the show when I was 8 years old.
Which season was yours?
11, right?
My season 11.
And that, I think, from
exactly. If I started dancing at season 1, I'm like 10.
Yeah.
In retrospect, 11 did feel like the peak, like the last of, like, or, like, sort of, we're, like,
a lot of changes started happening.
It was just the last of, like, the original structure where it was like top 20, one winner, like, very normal. So You Think You Can Dance. I won't say normal, but very classic. So You Think You Can Dance. But that process was amazing. I will say, like, it was very tough. But, like, again, like you said, I had all the energy, but I was, like, peeing brown at the end. Sorry, TMI. But, like, I couldn't stay hydrated. They would put, like, lemon in my water. Like, anything that I did, like, we were like raisins. Like, we just were dancing way too much to, like, keep ourselves, like, healthy together. Yeah.
And it was constant, like, learning a new dance,
Constantly.
rehearsing.
I think our finale, like, in a week, we were, like, we each had a duet with each person. So I had 3 duets, with one duet with every person in the top 3. We had a group dance, and there was something else, and a solo. And we had to figure that out between, like, the live show was, I think, on a Wednesday. From a Wednesday to the following, like, day off Thursday. So, like, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday is the dry block. So you really just have, like, 5 days to figure all of that out. And then, like, get it all, like, ready to be shown on national television. And then it's, like, the finale. So you're obviously like, okay, like, this is it.
From,
like,
when you started, So You Think, like, when you made it to the top 20 and you're staying there with these people, what was that like? Because these are people you don't really know. And then all of a sudden you're with them all.
You know me.
You're very friendly.
Don't talk to anybody.
You know me. I had an amazing, I got so close to those people. And I had, like, the same roommate most of the time, which was good. Like, he made it pretty far with me, so we got really close. And he would, like, I didn't know how to do anything, so he would make me breakfast. Like, I would have been, like, surviving on Cuban coffee and, like, air at that point, because I didn't know how to do anything.
And everything was paid for you guys, right? While you were
like
on the
groceries
show?
And stuff like that.
Where you stayed and
all that. They put us up into, like, a nice, like, sort of, like, extended stay vibe with, like, it was, like, nice. It had, like, a pool. It was really nice. But we would get, you're literally, like, they don't let you do anything. Like, you have to have permission to, like, go do things on the day off. You can't just, like, do whatever so, like, you're literally in a bubble, and they want to make sure that you're not, like, saying anything to anyone. You don't know who's, like, whatever, or what's going on, or what style you have the next week, or who your partner, or who your all-star is, or whatever the heck. So, like, you don't know if you're, like, a fan favorite, if you're, like, ahead of the competition, if you're doing well. Like, you don't know anything. You're like, okay, well, I can go home today, so let's just have fun. Like, it's really when you're in there, you really don't know what's going on. And
when people would get off the show, or they'd be taken off the show, what was, like,
the energy was like somebody was passing away.
I could just, especially towards, like, the
because
end.
Like, imagine, it feels like you're on a desert island and, like, someone's just getting, like, beheaded every day, and you're like, no. It really is. It really, obviously, like, once you get home, you're like, oh God, like that was so not reality. What we were doing, it was like so heightened.
But that was like your world in that moment.
It was so our world. And from someone like, a lot of us were really young, and so we all wanted it so bad. But what I found beautiful was that we all actually really did get along and really did support each other and root for, I mean, for the most part.
Well, and it was sad when somebody would leave.
Well, it's sad.
We wanted to do it all, like, obviously I wanted to win, but I was also like, I wanted to do the experience with everyone.
Yeah.
Like, I wanted everyone to be there. I was like, no, but like, they're the best in rehearsal. Like, what are we gonna do without that person? They know the counts and they keep the energy normal. And then we just like, they just kept like, you would enter the room every day on Friday and be like, well, it's like smaller room. It's getting smaller and smaller every week.
So when you worked with the different choreographers, who was your favorite? Because you had some really good choreographers.
Yeah. I had a lot of fun. I really liked work. It was a very memorable. My first week was very memorable just because like I had Sonia and I had Jessica as my partner, and it was a very like, Sonia's. I don't want to use the word intense. It is intense, but she does demand. I like to be pushed as a dancer, like especially when I was young. I was like, I love to be like in a room where like you're being like the most of your potential is being pushed out of you. And Sonia's very much like that, but she did it in such a caring, like loving way, and there was just a lot of care put into like making sure that we looked amazing on our first week. And Jessica and I got along really well. We like partnered in Vegas week together in the contemporary round. So like we just had a very like epic first week. It was like we came out of the gate like very hot. And I think that it was just like it like set the tone for me for the entire thing. So I would say Sonia. And it's great because she's in New York now. I see her all the time.
And the connections that you made, I mean, you can't beat that.
It's a wonderful, I like SATA doesn't exist anymore. For me, it exists in like a way, but not in the way that it did. Yeah. It was an amazing thing for it. It really made
the dancers.
It made dancers and choreographers like a household name almost, right? It was like the biggest anyone has ever been in our dance world was because they were on So You Think You Can Dance, and they were like so many people knew who they were besides like, you know, Fosse and like another generation of
well, and it also brought recognition to like the general population.
Yes, about dance and what it was, and it like was a launching pad for my career 100%, and it was a launching pad for so many choreographers. Like Sonia is like a Tony-winning Broadway like movies, like, and she got her start on So it was such a like rite of passage almost for so many commercial choreographers.
And it also wasn't like, even if you didn't win and you were still like in that top 20,
it almost didn't matter. It almost didn't matter. Like, I mean, it was obviously it's great, but it almost didn't matter because people loved watching you, and you would literally get booked on things because they were like, oh, I love that guy. Yeah. And like, let's see what he can do in my room.
So So You Think You Dance, let's talk about what happened to you from there, because that kind of like
was a huge curveball for my life.
It was not what you
It was not in the car. I wanted to be, well, you know, I was open to doing a ton of things, but
because that was part of what you won.
A part of my package was like, my winning package was like to get a contract in the show called All in the Town on Broadway, which was like, musical theater was not like on my radar. Like obviously Broadway in a general sense always sounded fun, but like an idea very far away from me because I didn't even go to the musicals at Coral Reef. Like I went to see Hairspray, was the only one because my best friend Berkey was in it. And she was Tracy Turnblad. But like that's the only like I didn't really have any experience. And so they were like, okay, so like your prize after winning is like this Broadway contract. So I'm like, okay, what does that mean? They're like, we don't really know. I'm like, okay, so like I go on tour, I don't really hear anything. Actually, they sent me to New York. So I win. This is a good story. I win. They're like, congratulations. I'm like literally in complete shock. I haven't eaten. I'm like literally 100 pounds. Like I'm so tired. And my family's there. I'm like sobbing mess.
And the picture of you on the floor
like,
is the
we
best.
grabbed your things from the hotel, from the apartment. You have to get in this car. And we're flying you overnight to New York to be on like, I don't know, Live. It was Live. At the time, it was Live with Kelly and Michael. Yeah. And I was like, what? And they're like, so like you can't go to the rap party, which any So You Think You Can Dance alumni, all they ever talk about is how amazing the rap party is because all the alumni come back and it's like this, everyone's there and it's like obviously the dancing's amazing.
Oh, you got
And they were like, you do not get to go to your rap party because you're going to go on a red eye to New York. And I was like, a red eye? What do you eat? I was so confused. They had a black car.
Your eyes were already red.
I was literally like, I was in a state of like complete disbelief and shock, and they were like, get in this car. And I was like, wait, I'm even more confused. So they throw me in the car. I get to the airport. They like have a person walk me through like I don't know if this is like, but like never had that happen to me. They like walk me through security. Like I did security, but like a special treat. They walked me to my gate, put me on the plane. I'm like sitting in first class.
Like a little kid?
I've never sat in first class before.
Oh, exciting.
Right, like an unaccompanied minor.
They gave me a mimosa. That I was like, I remember looking at someone. I was literally like, it was like all a blur until I was sitting on the plane with a mimosa, and then I looked at somebody on the plane and I was like, "Do you know the show? So you think you can dance?" And they were like, "Yeah," and I was like, "I just want it right now." And they were like, "Okay," and they like put their headphones back on, and they're like, "I'm gonna take a nap now." And I was just like, I was up the entire way to New York like this. I was like. And then, you know, at the time there wasn't Wi-Fi on planes really, so I literally just like I lose that, and I was just up like I was just kind of like freaking out. So I landed in New York, and I like do a bunch of press. I do live with Kelly and Michael. I go to like at the time BuzzFeed was a big thing. I went to like the BuzzFeed office and did all this stuff, and then like met the producer of On the Town, and like he took me to lunch, and he was like, "So what do you think about doing it?" And I was like I'm in, like whatever. And he's like, "Okay, well right now we don't have any like open spots, so we have to wait till someone either leaves or whatever, like we're already open, so you have to replace someone who leaves." I'm like, okay. He sends me to like his other show that's running. It's called Pippin. It was a big revival at the time. Like they get me like the most amazing house seat. They let me bring a friend. I sit third row, like in the center. The whole cast knows I'm there, and at the time people like did watch So You Think You Can Dance.
Yeah.
The whole cast knows I'm there. I was so exhausted. I mean, like, nothing could have kept me awake at that moment. Lady Gaga could have been on stage. I would have been like... So I slept through the entire thing. I think he was there watching me sleep. And then, like, had me come back and meet the whole cast. I'm sure they all saw me sleeping. But I was like... Anyway.
You guys did great.
So then I do the So You Think You Can Dance tour, which was 77 cities. That's a whole nother thing. Like, crazy time. I do the whole tour. Towards the end of the tour, I get an email. Also, the fact that they were just like, here's the producer's email. Good luck. That's your prize. Yeah. And I was like, okay, no problem. I mean, I'm not complaining.
And you're 18,
I'm 18. Right? I don't have an agent. I don't know what I'm doing. So I'm like, my initial email was like, "Hey, it's me. Like, I'm supposed to be in your Broadway show, ? Like, I won So You Think You Can Dance. Is that true?"
And there was no ChatGPT to check what you were doing?
I was just writing, like, signed Ricky Ubeda, thank you. I don't know. And then...
Wait, So You Think You Can Dance.
Yeah. And then...
I don't know if you know me.
At the end of the tour, they wrote to me, and they were like, "Hey, we would need you this day." Like, it was, I think the So You Think You Can Dance tour ended like on a Monday. I would fly on Tuesday, learn the entire show Wednesday, Thursday, premiere on Friday, like be in the show on Friday. And they were like, if you can't do it Friday because of Broadway rules, like we can't have our understudies on for that long, like consecutively. So like we'd have to find someone else if you can't go in on that Friday. And I was like, all right, I'm in. Like, I guess I'll just move to New York with my luggage that I have with this from the So You Think You Can Dance tour.
My dirty clothes.
I'm gonna be there. I'll be there. So I learned an entire Broadway show in 2 days, which is I learned now is not normal. And I've also never sung a note in my life and didn't know how to sing, or never done a musical before. And then I'm doing it like at the highest caliber with like some of the most amazingly talented people in New York, which was, I mean, I cried. Like I learning the show. It was snowing. I like moved to New York. I got in I Airbnb'd a sublet for a month. Let me just set the scene for you because I have no idea what I'm doing. I spent like way too much money on an Airbnb for 1 month because I'm like, let's just get me started. Let me have a month where I'm like in like across the street from Kinky Boots, like
I remember
on
I went to see
45th
it,
Street.
I remember.
And then like I had to learn the entire show like in 2 days, and then I made my Broadway debut on that Friday, and it was like really confusing time. I moved to New York. It was snowing. I was like learning music in like a music rehearsal with the music director, and I was like, I have to be honest, like I really don't like. You should turn my mic off. Like, I don't really know what's going on. And he was like, "No, like you can do it. Like you'll get there. Like, don't worry."
Can you sing for us right now?
No, I cannot. I've actually gotten like fine. Like I've been pretty good. Like fine. I would say like I can sing. I feel comfortable saying that. But I wouldn't say that I'm like a rock star or anything. But I did work. So from there, like that cast really took me under their wing. They were so generous with me. Like, 'cause, I mean, they didn't ask for me, I didn't audition to be there. They didn't ask for me. And they really were so generous in the way that they took me in and like made me love it. Like when I made my Broadway debut, like I was like, oh, this is what was like missing. Like this like 360 storytelling, like immersive experience of dance made me love it so much more.
And it was really a great show.
It was so fun. It was great. It was about being in New York for the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember we went to go see it.
Yeah.
It was magical. I was literally in heaven.
Yeah.
I was in heaven.
And it was
so,
like there was a lot of guys in the
a lot of guys,
a lot
lots of dancing,
Yeah.
and it was just like the cast. Like, I really do credit them for so much of what my life has become, because they really like sent me to the right voice teacher. Sent me. I started to study. Then I started to play catch up for a long time. But I was like studying with, like, I was looking and like on stage, like on the job training with some of the best people in the business. So I learned very quickly, like, and it was so great.
And how long was that run? Was it supposed to be that long, or was it supposed to be a
So
first?
I was contracted for 2 months only. It was like Ricky Ubeda in on the town, only 2 months, which was crazy to me to think about at the time, because now I've been in so many Broadway shows, and that's like not a thing. But yeah, I was only to be for 2 months, and then they offered me like to stay indefinitely after that, because I think they were like pleased with like that I wasn't like a diva or something. Like, and, you know, they don't know what to expect when someone's like coming in from a reality TV show. That could be a very like jarring experience for a show, for a cast. It's like an ecosystem.
Yeah,
you don't want to upset it.
Yeah.
And I think that I was just like, I really did try very hard to just like mold into their world and like learn from them.
Funny story, when we were there, I don't know if you remember that we went with Vicky backstage.
I do.
And she's
so
like,
Vicky Martinez, you know, tell people this is the activities director
at Coral Reef. She's a lot of
when
fun.
I was going to,
and she comes out and she's like, so this is your name in lights.
No, she
And
was very much like, so this, like, I showed her my dressing room station, and it was just like we each have our little pod with our mirror and like our name on it, and she was like, so like this is your name in lights. Like, this is it. And I was like, this is it for now.
So now with the last,
It's funny. I did, and then I really did have my name in lights.
Yes, and
last
we
year,
it
like
would
in a
become a
very
joke.
like on the marquee.
Yeah.
And it was like, I was like, you can tell Vicky, like,
There
actually
it
now
is.
my name is in lights. 10 years later.
but
we did it, Joe.
yes, we did.
Yeah.
We did. We started from little, and it got a little bit bigger, and now there it is.
But yeah, it completely took, like, I was not planning that for my life. And then like Broadway, theater, like acting, storytelling became my whole life.
Yeah. So after On the Town, you went to Cats.
That was the next thing. Yeah, I briefly toured with Shaping Sound after On the Town.
That's right.
And I was with Jump for a little bit,
Which
too.
is very cool. Shaping Sound
very
was
cool.
very
You know,
cool.
a lot of my like people that made me want to dance when I was young, and I would like be able to dance with them. It was a very cool bucket list thing for me to do, and I learned a lot. It was an amazing company of people. We had so much fun on tour. Like, it was amazing. I mean, imagine little me.
Yeah, no.
With all of my like people that I looked up to since I was a little kid, like being just like part of the gang. That was a really big deal for me.
Yeah. Yeah, and that was a great show, and
Yeah.
it's very special. And, and you did that for like what? It was like a year.
It was like
8 months
from like it was like like half a year really. It was like the fall of 2015 and the spring, like 2 legs of the tour.
And in between, you were doing like little things.
I like danced for Sia. Remember
That's
that?
right.
I danced for
Yes, that's
Sia
right.
with a wig.
Yes.
And little booty shorts.
It was like in a show
on Ellen.
Yes.
On Ellen.
That was another thing that was like, life just is full of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, my life has just been full of
You were
things
on Ellen
like
a couple
this.
times.
Like, I was on Ellen like 5 or 6 times.
Yeah.
A lot of times I was on
Yeah,
Ellen.
back, guys.
Yeah, I was like, me and Ellen were besties at that point. But I don't know. The Sia story is funny. It was like a phone call. Like, it was like a Sia saw video of you flopping around on the ground.
Yes, it was the Skin and Bones
My Skin and
solo.
Bones solo from So You Think. And they were like, Sia saw a video of you flopping around on the ground, and she wants you to dance for her. And I was like, are you... What? Like, I'm so confused. So that was actually very gracious. Shaping Sound let me go and like do it for like 2 days.
Yeah.
And
And I remember
I learned it in 1 day, and I did it the next day.
that Skin and Bones became a meme, and I remember that was like when memes first started.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's like Ricky's a meme,
And it's still to this day, like, it's like kind of like the image that like won't go away.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
like it
it's
like
like-
resurfaces every 2 years as a different meme, and I'm
Yeah.
like, that's
It's like your child
That's
when you tell them to
funny.
do something and they don't want to, and it's you doing
me
that.
flopping
Teachers
around and
walking
around.
back into
I
school
also
the
watched
first day.
that video, and I'm like, how did I not hurt myself?
Yeah.
I really had like, I was like, okay,
You-
it was really just going for it. No thoughts, just
Yeah.
no thoughts,
Yeah.
not thinking about being injured, just the flopping.
Yeah, no.
So then I did
Your body's different.
but the
when
flopping
it's-
thing got me a job.
It did?
It was great, and she wanted me to flop around for her, so I did. I flopped around for her in that
Can you just
too.
flop for me a few times?
Yeah, no, I mean, this podcast studio would be a wreck if I tried to do that.
So after that, you did.
And then I auditioned for Cats. I played Mr. Mistopheles for way too long on Broadway.
A big role, though.
Big in the sense that it was like a principal role on
Yes.
Broadway, and you know, that's what people strive for when they're in that business.
And it was one of the few rake stages still left in New
which
York.
was ridiculous.
Yeah, to think that that's how
if you were responsible for that, it's just like, it's crazy to think that the stage is literally just like on an axis.
Yeah.
And I was doing second turns like on a rake stage for a year. Let me just say that again. Like that makeup every day, sometimes twice a day. That show is so heavy on the body. And you know, like obviously Cats is iconic. It's a legendary show. Mr. Mistopheles is a legendary part. Like I watched the VHS when I was a kid a million times. But then at the end of the day, when you're like going, you know, you're on the subway home and you're like, what are we doing that for? Like, why are we doing Cats? Like, who is this moving? And it was very hard to like, after like a month where you're like, oh, so cool. I get to come down from the ceiling on Broadway and like do a bunch of like tricks and it's so fun. The substance of it really, for me personally, some people do love it, started to run out. And I got really like, and I was like, I still have 8 months. Like, I don't think you understand what that means in Broadway terms. It's like 500 shows or something. Like it's an insane amount of work that we have to do when you're on a year contract. And I was like, it was really tough on that was like my first like crisis, I would say, like as an artist. Like I was just like, I'm being completely emptied of my life force playing a cat.
And you're stuck.
I'm like, I'm in a jumpsuit. I mean, it's great. I mean, obviously, like champagne problems. You know, I wasn't ungrateful, but it was really hard. I didn't really know how to handle it. Like
You were young.
I was fresh 20, and I didn't really know how to handle that. I was just.
But it was
like,
another connection you got.
It was amazing. At the end of the day, I mean, I met some of my best friends that I still work with to this day. Like we do so many jobs together. Like I met Andy Blankenbuehler, who choreographed Hamilton. Like it was a great stepping stone for me, and it kept me, you know, in people's eyes. But like, it was just like on a personal level, it was really, really, really hard to stay with it. But I stuck with it, and then the minute my contract was done, I was like, respectfully, I have to go. I thank you so much. But it was
being a cat.
Again, like I said, like I wanted it. I wanted it really bad. When I auditioned for it, like I really wanted it. And by the end, I was like, I need to make space for someone who will enjoy this. Because right now, all it's doing for me personally is like sucking my life force away. Yeah. And I didn't have the tools to like switch perspectives. Like I'd be like, okay, but like how can we, you know, figure out what to do during the day to make ourselves feel better? How can we attack it or look at it from this angle? Or like I didn't have the maturity to do that at that age. I was just like, I'm tired. I want to go home and eat chips. Like this is not, you know, it was really that.
And it really, in reality,
I didn't know how to eat well either. Like I wasn't fueling myself correctly. I wasn't meditating at the time. Like this is what made me start meditating. I started to have panic attacks. Like I was like really not doing well.
You were very young, put in a role that people really for a long time might be working towards and like may never get something like that.
Yeah. And
so it's hard. It's also hard to like be tired, but and also feel like ungrateful, but then really be grateful for the role at the same time. So it's a hard thing to balance at such a young age.
A lot of things were true at once, and I didn't know how to I just didn't know how to take care of myself. I didn't know myself super well yet. Like I had a sense of maturity about me, but I also I was eating like trash. I wasn't taking care of my nervous system. I wasn't sleeping the way I should have. You know, those things were obviously not helping me. So when I started to have panic attacks, I was like, okay, so what's that about? And then when I finished doing Cats, I shaved my head and I went to Thailand for 5 weeks.
Went full Britney.
Full Britney. And mind you, I'm not even, like I'm 21 at this point. I think I just turned 21. And I'm like, I'm having a midlife crisis. Shaved my head, went to Thailand, and just immersed myself in learning about wellness and about.
How long were you there? 6 weeks?
5 weeks.
5 weeks.
5 weeks. I went by myself. It was amazing.
You had no time off either between high school and just success.
No, yeah, I think it was really important for me to reach a point where I was like, okay, what is it that I want to do? Like I never really was taking stock of I was too young to be they tell you to just do what you can when you're getting started in the industry, just take all the things so you can make as many connections. But then it was a moment for me to stop and be like, what is in alignment with what I want to do and what's going to make me feel good and grow, and I find the substance of it to be fulfilling, because that's ultimately why we do this.
Yeah.
So I went to Thailand and I had a big moment of reflection. I learned a lot about yoga. I learned a lot about meditation, about my nervous system, about then that really set the tone for now then the rest of my life.
After Cats, you did another...
I did, yeah. I worked on Carousel, which is where I met Justin Peck, who I work with all the time. I did the revival of Carousel, which was amazing. It's just very normal, fun, best thing ever. Like 7-month run we had, beautiful time. It was, and again, like I just felt like I was able to now approach it from a different place and enjoy myself. And then after Carousel, I worked on the West Side Story film,
which we got to go see
I think
you on
that's
set.
right. Which, yes, I did. Oh my God, I did sneak you guys onto set.
We were able to see you guys filming
America.
Yes, America.
The America sequence when it was
That
like
was
it was
so
like
cool.
100 something degrees
Yes.
outside.
Yeah, I was standing there sweating.
It was disgusting. Our shoes were melting on the
Yeah,
asphalt.
that was horrible.
And that was
so
a whole
cool.
another, once in a lifetime, like
Yeah.
auditioning. Like, the audition for that was like so actually quite rigorous. And we had to go like one at a time. Because they hadn't written the script fully, so they didn't know how much we would act, how much we would speak, how much we would do. So like we danced down for forever, for days and weeks and whatever. And then
The
when it was
hottest
down
summer
in the
ever?
but I'm talking about in the audition room.
Oh.
And then we were boiled down to like maybe if they were gonna pick whatever 15 guys, we had like 30, and we had to go like we learned a bunch of scenes, we learned songs. And then we had to like go in one at a time. It was like Steven Spielberg, Justin, Tony Kushner, who's like an iconic playwright who wrote the script for West Side Story. Janine Tesori, who wrote the music for a bunch of amazing musicals in New York, was music directing. And just like dance by yourself, read a scene for Steven Spielberg, like just act.
Which
And
is so cool.
No.
Just to be standing in the room
Just
with
sitting
him.
there and being
Hello.
able to do that is amazing.
Hello.
Bucket list.
I did the combo once. I show it, I do it, and then he was like, "Will you do it again?" And I was like, "Yeah." He whips out his phone. And he's like, puts it in slow-mo, because there was this big jump at the beginning. He puts it in slow-mo. He wanted to film me doing the thing in slow-mo. And he's like, "Come back and watch this." Like the whole room just comes around. This is my personal audition for him. And we're just like crowded around his phone, like watching me jump in slow motion. And I was like, doesn't even matter if I get this.
This
This
is just
an iconic moment for me.
Somebody film me.
Yeah, I
doing
cried
this.
on the subway home because I was just like, what a cool moment for
Yeah.
me. Like, for anybody who was in that room, like, even if I don't get it, like, Steven Spielberg, I'm on his phone.
We're besties now.
I'm on his phone. So, I mean, and that was it, like, another one. Like, that summer was the coolest summer, like, of like, probably all of our lives that were involved in that.
I mean, that's a big bucket list right there.
He treated us like we were royalty. He was so invested in making sure that our, like, Hollywood experience was so incredible, and he cared so much to take care of all of the details for us, and he like really wanted to immerse himself in our world. He was like, "I'm making a musical, and you guys are the musical people, so teach me how we do musicals." And he like would come into the studio every day of our rehearsal, rolling on the ground with his iPhone, like trying to. It's just crazy. Like, he's a living legend, and he's like not, it's not. He's been around for a long time. He's like.
Yes.
So invested still in every single piece of his filmmaking, and he
so
could
open and
he
willing
could
to
have been
learn.
so jaded and been like, "Oh, these kids are
Yeah.
just running around my set."
They don't know what they're doing.
Like, we were doing the dance at the gym, 60 of us, 15 in each little group, like the jet girls, the jet guys, shark girls, shark guys. And he was like, he leans over and he's like to his producer, and he's like, "Can we get them like little photo booths for when we're shooting this film, so that they can go like when they're on their downtime, they can go take like prom photos, like in the photo booth, as if they were going to prom together on the set." And I was like, that is so
cute.
It's just like
Yeah.
little details
Yeah,
that
yeah.
he really was like, I want to make this amazing for these kids.
Yeah.
They're giving us so much of their time and energy, and they're so good at what they do, that I want to go the extra mile to treat them well. And now we have all those photo strips from the set, and we're
Yeah.
all like going to the prom.
That is very cute.
It's just like it was an amazing, beautiful experience.
I remember when we were there that he walked by and you were like, "Act normal." I'm like, "What?"
Well, I
brushed
grabbed my
us.
lanyard to be on set, and I put it on you, and I was just like, "Just walk around and don't say anything because you have the lanyard." And you were like, "Okay."
Yeah,
I was like,
and
if you see anybody famous, because tons of people were visiting set, I was like,
And I was like, "This is my phone."
Yeah.
I was so
and I was like,
excited.
if you see anybody famous,
Act
just
normal.
pretend, act normal.
It was
very
so
cool.
fun.
Yeah.
Very cool. We hope you enjoyed part 1 of the 2-part series with Ricky Ubeda.
Make sure to tune in next week for part 2. And if you like what you heard, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube and follow us on Instagram. And if you have any questions or suggestions, make sure to click on the link tree in our bio and fill out our Google form.
See you next week.
Bye.